So, folks, today is National Dashcam Day, and who better to show up on National Dashcam Day than the CEO of DisplayRide, a good friend of the channel, who has been on the show before, and he's here again to talk about it. They had a couple of major victories, but I'm going to let him talk about that. Without further ado, I'm going to bring Abdul Kasim on. He is the CEO of DisplayRide, and here he is. Abdul, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sergio. Great to be back.
Yes, you're a veteran on this channel now. You've been at least a couple times, maybe. DisplayRide is a company that I use for a while. And look, driver safety for me, personally speaking, is paramount. Obviously for DisplayRide as well. And look, every day we read about it on the, my Google feed is full of, this happened, carjacking, stabbing, shot, whatever. You all may say, well, what is going to a dash cam do? Well, a dash cam does a lot. In fact, see, the dash cam is talking about it. But driver safety is paramount these days. It only has to happen once, and it changes a life. So, Abdul, introduce yourself, introduce the company. And I know your camera is talking. You have one. We'll do a little quick demo because there's a couple other things I want to talk to you about.
Sure, love to. I'm Abdul Kasim, CEO of DisplayRide. DisplayRide, we are focused. We, in fact, created the company around rideshare, right? We saw that tons of dash cams, obviously, and all those kind of things. But we built one. I hate to say dash cam because it's a lot more than dash cam. But our focus has been driver safety. So that has been our singular purpose. And the result was what we call the rideshare monitoring platform. Fundamentally, we have three goals, and the three goals, we continue to maintain it for the last 5 years that we've been in business. And it's basically around preventing safety issues before they happen, not after the fact, like they do most cameras. So we try to be more proactive, more intelligent, and more predictive in doing that. The second thing we try to do is, try to document everything that can happen, right? Everything. We, as you'll see, I'll show you a camera in a second, but we record everything. We upload immediately to the cloud. So, everything, and you cannot sort of manipulate it, so to speak. Everything is automatically, it's encrypted and sent. Finally, we try to enable the potential to intervene if there is an incident, because unfortunately there is nothing like 100% safety and security, right? Which is why there's insurance companies, obviously. So if there is anything happening, we try to intervene. We try to discover there's a problem or whatever, and then we try to allow, we kind of notify people and things of that sort. One of the key components for our solution is it's always connected, and this is the camera portion of it. This is the dash cam, just so you know. It has dual cameras. It is a camera which is facing the roadside. It has a couple of cameras facing inside the cabin. Just for context, this is my iPhone. So it's a little smaller than the iPhone and probably weighs probably a little less. But yeah, it captures it. It has here its own wireless connection, very much like your mobile phone. It has storage. And it takes literally about 60 seconds to install, self-install. You just plug it in, turns on, you peel this off, stick it onto your windshield, and you're ready to go. So yeah, we have thousands of these all over the place, and we are delighted to be helping. It's really helping a lot of drivers. In fact, I think, as I was telling Sergio before, what we are trying to evolve to is literally having a co-driver next to you, who's looking out for you. That's the whole thing. Except that the co-driver is not going to drink your coffee, of course, but they're always on. So, as soon as the vehicle starts, right, the camera is nothing for any driver to do anything. It's automatically recording and storing everything on the cloud automatically, right? Nothing for the driver to do, right? At the end of the, and it just records and keeps it. At the end of every day, it also sends you like a list of all the rides, and just gives you what we call a summaries of all the trips. But as importantly, I feel, and this is some of the new things that we've introduced, it also gives you what we call as a deactivation possibility score, right? It records two things, how you drove, and also the interaction within the cabin. You know, two things which are important. And you guys, a lot of our drivers drive like for hours and hours, so they're not mindful of it. So this kind of alerts you, like saying, hey, maybe you're on the phone too often, or you're drowsy or whatever. It gives you some kind of feedback. Again, this is solely sent to the driver. Nobody else has access to it. But the idea is you kind of alert the driver to do better, or to be mindful of things. So hopefully nothing bad happens, right? And of
Yeah.
course, we need to have deactivation support, right? At a touch of a button, you can get, last 15 days of all day videos, which you'll get it right to your phone on a link. You can send it to Uber, Lyft, whoever, because they don't tell you when, what, why you're being deactivated, obviously.
Yeah, usually they give you a range, right? They go,
Exactly.
well, in this day and age, 2 weeks ago this happened, and then we don't even remember what. But then, as drivers, Abdul, we all know when things are about to go sideways in a car, or we know which passenger probably did what they did, but then you never know because they put a fraudulent complaint, and then
Exactly.
you're off the road for 72 hours minimum until you go through the app, do the in-app appeal. And look, there is a saying, right? Picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000 words. Because look, that's the
Exactly.
proof. And that's the fastest way you can get back on the road. And that's one of the reasons dashcam is important for. I want to talk to you a little bit about a major victory for DisplayRide. So, people who watch us, they know that companies have raised the fares on the riders. Okay, the reason they're giving for this is mostly that the commercial insurance companies have raised their rates. I mean, that's not the driver's fault, obviously. However, they're saying a bulk of it, on Lyft and Uber's case, it goes to commercial insurance, right? And and the increase has been literally astronomical when it comes to commercial insurance. So DisplayRide had a major victory actually in New York City. Let's talk a little bit, couple of minutes about that.
Sure. Yeah, in New York, obviously, 100,000, over 100,000 drivers, right? But one of the big challenges in New York City is also what's called staged accidents, right? There's almost cartels around this where they go and come and hit you. It's all staged. And then there's a whole value chain, like there's a doctor, there's a physical therapist, and so on.
Yeah,
So the unfortunate thing is the insurance, the cost of every incident goes balloons up to hundreds of thousands, right? So all as it is, drivers in New York City uh, pay about $300 minimum for commercial insurance. And now with all these kind of incidents, right, it's only going to balloon up, which is making the whole industry unsustainable, right? I mean, you can't pay $800 for your insurance and still drive make enough money. So that's the reason we partnered with ATIC, which is American Transit Insurance, which is one of the largest insurance companies out in the city, and also the New York Federation of Taxi Drivers, and also some brokers, to address that issue, because we want to capture that information before. So you otherwise, they come and say, oh, you hit us, and it's again the same old story about who's responsible, and it's hard to prove. And then, like I said, these guys have a cartel. So a doctor comes and tells, oh yeah, he broke his bone, he broke a thing, he's incapacitated, so it's going to cost you $1 million, like that,
yeah,
right? So at the end of the day, it's thing. So we are working. We've deployed. We launched a couple of weeks ago. About 500 drivers across the city. And we're constantly monitoring, and it's recording all the information. And based on that, we're hoping that it will completely deter such kind of incidents. Or if they do happen, we know exactly what happens, and so the insurance cost can go down a little bit. And at the end of the day, it's affecting everybody in the value chain, especially the driver, right? Because if a driver encounters even a stage accident, irrespective of his fault, his insurance will go up, premium
yeah,
goes.
for sure. Yeah, in
So
fact, Uber is suing one of the top, actually, if not the top, personal injury attorneys in California. And I mean, his billboards are everywhere, and he sponsors the Lakers. Basically, he really does, and he's the largest one in California. And Uber is taking them to court, to literally to federal court, saying that a lot of these are staged because
Yep.
they know we have the deep pockets on
Yeah.
period three. We have $1 million liability. They put a couple of riders in the car. They come rear-ended, and then here we go, right? And so yeah, that was major for DisplayRide. I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure you're happy about that. And I think for we say it all the time, right? FYI, folks, the show notes include all the information regarding DisplayRide. There are a couple of questions I highlighted. We'll go through those towards the end of your segment. But besides safety, right? Uh, First of all, I also know now you're introducing some new AI features into DisplayRide, but let's talk a couple of minutes about the telematics, right? So we know Uber and Lyft send drivers a score, meaning, a driver score, and Uber works with Cambridge Telematics. Lyft, I don't know who they work with. I think it's in-house, grabs it from your gyroscope of your phone, and it's woefully inaccurate in most cases. Okay, so you guys are doing that as well, as far as telematics is concerned. So let's talk a couple of minutes about that.
Sure. Yeah. Telematics, as I said, is very important. We obviously follow all the standards. It continually monitors certain things, like a sudden acceleration, sudden braking, sharp turns, things I which are known to cause, to be a predictor of accidents, obviously. But also another thing we are doing, Sergio, is we are trying to monitor, how a passenger feels, right? Because if you drive like a little bit crazy, passenger feels scared as well, and they're going to give you, bad rating, whatever, that kind of stuff. So we are monitoring both components. And also, sometimes you're unaware and you're looking at your phone and you're driving, and suddenly you just like jerk off, like, hey, what the happened, and you just take a sudden turn, or slam your brakes. So I think what we're trying to do is give a little more holistic inside of your own driving skills to make you more outful. Just giving a score may not be particularly valuable. Just like, okay, what does it mean, right? Like, okay, I got 70 or 80 or whatever. Okay, you did fair. What does it mean? We try to give more feedback, like, hey, you're looking on the phone too much. Hey, you need to focus more on the road. Hey, you're just accelerating, or you're going over speed limit quite consistently. Things like that. The other thing is we try to be a little bit sensible about it, meaning to say we don't like, all of us will, frankly, you'll accelerate a little bit. You're not exactly at 65 every time. You may go 67, 68, and if you keep on sending alerts, you'll go nuts. You'll just start ignoring it. So we
Yeah,
try to be sensible about it, and we're using a lot of AI around those kind of things to give a more meaningful, helpful feedback. So
yeah.
that's something. And of course, we again, like all the we have a gyroscope, accelerometer also in the device itself, and it's far more accurate than most phones as well. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the thing is, drivers do get these threatening messages. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. But I know for a fact that, for example, Cambridge Telematics, they have wrong data sets in their systems, and they continuously tell the driver you're speeding, although the driver tells me I'm not speeding. They have the data wrong. It's 35. I'm going 35, but in CMT's data set, it says 25. So CMT keeps dinging the driver saying you're going too fast, right? But I think it's a good self checkpoint for the driver to see. Look, we all are driving. We get tired after 10 hours. We may rush here, do this, do that, but it's a good self checkpoint. By the way, this information is not going anywhere. It's your information. It's your data. It's not being sold to Uber, Lyft, or insurance companies, or this or that. Your data is your data. One last thing. Let's talk a little bit about talking about it is, before I put up a couple of questions for you. Is um, obviously there are competitors out there, right? If I did not have a DisplayRide or any dash cam, why should I go buy a DisplayRide, and why should I use the services?
right. So uh, I believe because we are really focused on the rideshare community, rideshare problems. It's a lot of our competitors are basically dash cams, right? That means they're a tool which are used to monitoring, and yeah, you can do something. But our thing is more different. We're looking at it totally differently. We're not worried, for example, about, yeah, monitoring is part of the game, but the overall reason you have it is you don't want to be in an accident, or if there's an accident, you have some information right away. Or more importantly, as in the case of rideshare, as you know, Sergio, deactivation.
Yeah.
You're told, hey, you're deactivated. So what are you going to do? You're taking another some of these dash cams. You have to pull out a memory card, put it in, or figure out, hey, what happened where, all those kind of things. For us, everything is tabulated. End of every day, you know exactly what you did, what your score was. And by the way, if there is any incident or so on, you will automatically, everything is stored, right? If we, for example, like I said, you said there's a gyroscope, right? If we discover a collision or some kind of incident, it'll automatically upload that and keep it for 1 year in the cloud,
Okay.
because we recognize it's something. So, and like I said, it takes 60 seconds to install. Nobody can match it. You may have heard the camera speaking, so
Yeah.
to speak, right?
Yeah.
It's saying that, hey, please be aware that you're being recorded. It's a very simple thing, but it's based on a lot of science. It's just notifies like, hey, you're being recorded. So guess what? People generally behave better when they know they're being recorded, right?
Yeah.
And our camera also has a screen, unlike others, right? So there you go. It's just
Yeah.
and you can change the timer, of course, how often, but it does
Right.
that. The other thing we have is you can just press a button here. Let's say a cop stops you, there's an accident, and he says, what's happened? You're like, you're not going to be like going on, hey, onto this portal and this and that. You just, here you press the button.
Recording from the previous 10 minutes will be sent to the registered phone and
Yeah.
email.
Guess what? It just send you what happened in the last 10 minutes. It sends a whole video recording onto your phone. And by
Yeah.
the way, guys, another thing, there's no apps, nothing. Everything is managed by your phone. So it's connected, every device is managed to your phone. It's so we have a lots and lots of features. We'd be obviously delighted to go over with anyone. But yeah, we built it around rideshare and the
Right.
specific around
And
rideshare.
what happens in case, there's bad reception and things like that? What happens in that case?
Excellent question. We have an SD card, a memory card, right,
Yeah.
inside the device itself. So obviously, you're right. We cannot control the wireless network around the country. So,
Yeah.
so there are dead zones and stuff like that. But what happens is it will automatically. By the way, it makes a copy before it uploads. It will automatically does that in a nanosecond. But if there is no connection or whatever, the connection is not adequate because it's heavy bandwidth intensive footage that you're uploading. It will automatically store that in the device. As soon as the connection is reestablished, it will automatically upload. Again, all these things will be invisible to you. And
Yeah.
that's one of the key things. We do not want driver to worry about managing a device and all these kind of things.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I agree. And so I'm going to put up a couple of questions I highlighted. So one is, this seems like what if I-28, let's say, I need to restart my DisplayRide cam again? Well, it's not your cam. I think it's you're talking about your subscription. So is there a specific way of doing that, or should he reach out to support?
Yeah,
Or
to support, it's easier. We have live support, by the way. Unlike that's another thing. Unlike a lot of the companies, we have live support in California. You just call us, we'll help you out and take care of it.
okay, so there's your answer for that. And one more. I would like to see a dash cam with a remote storage. So if someone swipes the dash cam, the data will be in the vehicle. Well, it doesn't have to be in the vehicle. In this case, it's in the cloud. So look, I know the answer to that. I'll let you answer it too. But there was a case in Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, this driver was murdered, mother of four. And the first thing the bad guys will do, okay, the first thing they see the dash cam, although they're dumb enough to do the crime with the dash cam recording. But in DisplayRide's case, your face is already plastered in the cloud. You can grab the camera, you can smash it, you can throw it, you can do whatever the heck you want with it. It's already too late for you as a criminal. So that answers that question for me anyway. But if there's something you want to add to it.
No, I think you're right. In fact, we encountered a rideshare driver in San Francisco who I think just stepped out to a 7-Eleven or something to grab a coffee or something. He had left his vehicle on, unfortunately, and somebody jumped the vehicle, carjacked it literally, and then of course they saw the device and then they just pulled it off. But like you said, that the person's face was already known. The cops immediately found out who the person was, and they kind of triangulated where there was, and so on.
Yeah. And so Sandra says, trying to buy the dash cam and it's impossible. No link to go to the store. Just go to www. The link is in the show notes. and you'd code RSG to get a discount, obviously, but the link is right in the show notes. So when you go to the YouTube page, click more, and then the link is there. But if not, then go to www.DisplayRide.com. It's pretty simple to do. You'll see all the pricing and everything else there. Well, thank you for coming on again. We appreciate it. I know there's a couple other deals you're working on, and we'll probably announce those, hopefully, fingers crossed, shortly. But yeah, I think, I mean, I've been using it. I'm very happy with it. I would highly recommend it, and I wouldn't drive without a dash cam if I was driving 2 hours, 20 hours, or 42 hours a week. It's just you need to have one. So with that said, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate it. And if anybody has any questions, they can always reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to go over the we have tons of features. So we built it again for rideshare. It'll resonate with you. We have thousands of drivers across the country using it. So please, thank you so much for the opportunity. Look forward to more such conversations.
Absolutely. Go shut the camera. All right, have a good one now.
You too, sir. Bye.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.